Hello and welcome to East Lansing, Michigan for a contest between the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans in men's basketball. My name is Neal. Sinha. Joined alongside me is James Meninga. And what a big-time game we have today. The Wolverines come into this 7-13 overall, 2-7 in the Big Ten. And frankly, it's been a tumultuous season to say the least, between Juwan Howard not starting on the coaching bench as the head coach for this team when Phil Martelli took over at the beginning of the season to Juwan then taking back over, and then the recent news of Doug McDaniel being suspended for the first 6 remaining road games. Tumultuous. It's easy to say. Michigan State, though, on the other hand, it hasn't been a smooth season for them either. They come in 12-8 overall, 4-5 in the Big Ten. They're 2-7 in quad 1 games, and right now sit on the bubble when looking at a prospective NCAA tournament upcoming in March. James, 2 teams on the complete opposite sides of the spectrum. What are the keys today for Juwan Howard's squad to come in and pick up their first road win in East Lansing since 2018?
Well, I think for starters, they need to come out swinging. It's no secret that they're a little bit outmatched with the Spartans team. But if they can come out and they can shoot well, they can dominate in the paint, play fundamentally sound basketball, they can have a little upset here over Sparty. I think it's going to be hard with Doug McDaniel, obviously suspended. But if they can get Terrence Williams hot and they can get shooting, then I think they could craft up a sneaky upset.
Definitely, and just as you mentioned, Doug McDaniel out for the 6 road games that the Wolverines have between January and February. Of course, missing this game, even though it is in the state of Michigan. But Wolverines certainly going to be lacking without him. Jalen Llewellyn will be starting in place of him. It's his 3rd straight game starting for the Wolverines. For Michigan State, on the other hand, they're favored in this game. They are expected to win this game. The line for it is set at 12 points. What do they have to do to not only win this game but show that they are truly the better team like the records indicate?
Well, they can't have shooting problems. As we saw at the beginning of the year, they came out, I think, in their first 2 games combined, they were an absurd number, 1 from 30 for 3. So they've retconned that sense, but they can't fall in that habit. Last week we saw them offensively fall flat against Wisconsin, and if they do that again here tonight, they'll be in trouble. It may not seem like it, but this is an absolute must-win for them, even though it's to an inferior opponent. They've got this game and another huge game, Big Ten game at home coming up, which are absolutely vital for them making the tournament. So they got to just do what they've been doing, play their best ball. And not overlook this game, not overlook the Wolverines, and just stay focused.
No doubt. And for Michigan State, this is a team that came into the year with a ton of expectations, to say the least. They were some of the preseason favorites to win the national championship in basketball. It hasn't gone to plan. It all started with a relatively rough beginning stretch at the beginning of the year, but they turned it around against number 6 Baylor on December 16th in Detroit, where they blew out the Baylor Bears. They've won 7 of the last 11 games now and come into this game on the upswing. They're 4-5 in the Big Ten, hoping to continue to rise up the rankings. An absolute rocking crowd here in Breslin Center, completely packed to the brim of the capacity of 15,000 people. For the Wolverines, they're in the road maize jerseys, and their little maize yellow jerseys Michigan is in, with Juwan Howard as the head coach as he hasn't been, honestly, for the whole season for the Wolverines. Michigan State, though, on the other hand, in their white homes, the starting lineups today for the Wolverines, it's Jalen Llewellyn, Namari Burnett, Terrence Williams II, Olivier Kemwa, as well as Terrace Reed Jr. manning it down low. For the Spartans, it's Tyson Walker, the lead scorer in points, Jaden Akins, A.J. Hogard, Maddie Sissoko, and Malik Hall. Tom Izzo is looking for his 700th career win today. And here we go, as the tip is underway, and we are back in action. And he draws a foul by Tyson Walker. And we're going to get a call on the shot. So Michigan's going to have 2 free throws to start here, James.
Right, yeah. What we saw there was Quick shot by Michigan State, trying to get going early. Obviously didn't pan out. Michigan's able to recover the rebound, go down, and missed the first free throw, but still hoping to get some points on the board here. Yeah, don't want to start off too slow against the Sparty team.
And listen to this Breslin Center crowd just getting absolutely ruckus here. Jalen Llewellyn, 50% from the line on the season. He makes the second, so he splits the pair. 1-0 is the score here in East Lansing. Hogard now, soft press by the Wolverines. Malik Hall dribbles it up forward. Kamwa gets a hand on it, but the Spartans get it right back. Hogard now resets at the Spartan logo. Some off-ball movement for Michigan State. Sissoko now has it at the top of the key. He swings it outside Hogard. Flips it to the corner. Spartans dribbling into the lane. It's Akins. He flips it up and in off the glass. What a tough shot by Jaden Akins right there.
Juwan Howard did not like that one. He wanted to travel.
My goodness. Kamwa now gets the Wolverines started. Jalen Llewellyn has it again. Llewellyn dumps it off to Williams. He then goes to Burnett, who snakes his way around the three-point arc. Williams now into the lane at the right elbow, loses control. Hogard reaching for it with Terrace Reed. What's the call? And we'll get a jump ball here early in favor of the Wolverines. 5 seconds remain on the shot clock with 18:26 to go in the first half. Spartans lead it 2-1.
Yeah, Michigan's doing a great job right now, not giving up on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen some good offensive boards, and then even though they lost the handle on that one, they got it back. Forced the jump ball.
Here's inbounds off the baseline. They go to Williams. Immediate jumper goes in for Michigan. And the Wolverines with an answer to take a 3-2 lead. Hogard now has it again.
That's what they need to keep up for the rest of the night if they want to stay in this.
Most certainly. Tyson Walker comes off a screen. He's fronted by Namari Burnett. Akins now left some space at the right wing. Flips it back out to Matty Sissoko. Juwan Howard wanted a double dribble call, not going to get it. It's Tyson Walker now dribbling into the lane, swings it back outside. Akins now a three. Got it. Got them all for Michigan State. 5-3 is now the score in favor of the Spartans.
There's that shooting that we talked about. Michigan State was sorely lacking earlier this year, but they've really found their rhythm down the stretch here.
And the question for the Wolverines is going to be, without Doug McDaniel, their point guard, their facilitator, how does Jalen Llewellyn answer? They go to Kamwa in the low block. Olivier Kamwa is going to fire from the mid-range, off the mark, off the back heel, rebounded by Terrace Reed.
It's another offensive board for the Wolverines. They know exactly what they need to do.
Kamwa now working out the low block again. He's going to go with the reverse layup and flips it up and in. Tie game here in East Lansing. Michigan State races down the timeline. Hogard has it. He gets a screen from Sissoko. Then finds him right down low. Matty Sissoko waiting for it and draws the foul from Kamwa, which will be called on the floor. And that's the first on the Michigan Wolverines today.
Yeah, that was good by Matty Sissoko there. He didn't really have a shot, so he drew the foul, and Spartans keep it. It didn't throw up a bad shot. Probably wouldn't have got a foul call there, but Sparty keeps the ball.
So Carson Cooper comes into the game for Sissoko, and then we're going to get an off-ball foul called on the Wolverines. We'll have to wait and see who it's on here.
Well, don't really see that all that often, especially here early.
So Hogard will inbound again. Already 2 quick fouls on the Wolverines. Hogard resets back to Malik Hall. Hall now out right wing to Hogard. Flips using the pick and roll, and Hall loses control of the ball. Michigan gets it right back.
Yeah, not a great shot there from Hogard. I don't really know what he was doing, but it did not pan out.
Burnett now fronting with the ball. He goes outside to Llewellyn. Jalen Llewellyn looks for Terrence Williams on the left wing. Williams the second, working on Tyson Walker. Definitely the size advantage there. Posts him up, flips it back outside. Burnett wide open for three, got them all. And Michigan takes a 3-point lead with 16:30 to go in the first half.
Yep. Michigan, that's what we said. They need to shoot the ball from deep consistently. That's what they've been doing.
Akins into the lane, flips it off the glass and in, but we're going to get a foul called before on the floor. It's going to be on Olivier Kamwa. 3 quick, cheap fouls by the Wolverines. And Olivier Kamwa has picked up his second personal just 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this game, James.
Yeah, that does not bode well, especially with Doug McDaniel out. You don't have the depth that you do with him in. So, yeah, these fouls early are not helping.
And we're going to get an offensive foul now. My goodness, the officials' whistles are very active early here. So Michigan will get the ball right back. Will Cheddar into the game for the Wolverines in place of Olivier Kamwa. For Sparty, Trey Holloman comes in. For for Tyson Walker. Terrace Reed has it now at the point. Dumps it off to Llewellyn. Llewellyn goes back to Reed, posting up at the left elbow. Terrace Reed Jr. trying to make something happen. Spartans double and then force the ball out of bounds. It's off Terrace Reed. Michigan State will have it right back.
Yeah, that was Jay Nakins making a great defensive play. Carson Cooper was in there making being difficult, and then Jay Nakins just came in there with the double team, forced the ball out of bounds.
And so we get the under 16 timeout here with exactly 16 minutes to go in the first half. Michigan leads the Michigan State Spartans 8-5. Wolverines, though, more importantly, have 3 quick fouls, 2 of them being on their best player for tonight, at least, in Olivier Kamwa. What do you think about that, James? Where do you find the rest of the production when you don't have Doug McDaniel, and now you're down Olivier Kamwa likely for the rest of the first half?
I think their shooting is going to struggle a little bit. They got to force the ball to Terrence Williams as much as they can deep. But I think they got to try and win in the paint. They got to take advantage of Manny Sosco and Carson Cooper. Izzo likes to play both of them, sometimes at the floor at the same time, and then just constantly switching them back and forth. So you got to find weaknesses with those guys and take advantage. Really beat them in the paint. We've seen Michigan with their second chance points. They've been doing a great job, whether it's offensive rebounds or just not giving up on a loose ball. You would like to see them do a little better down there with the turnover forced by Jay Nakins. But largely on the offensive side of the ball, they've been doing good at limiting turnovers and getting the ball back. So you want 4 minutes into the game, you want to see them keep that up for the rest of the game and maintain their lead.
Certainly, and for the Wolverines, of course, they got to be thinking, if this one comes down to the end. They've seen this picture many times before of close games that they haven't won. Michigan's scoring margin is actually minus 0.5 points on the season. Despite their 7-13 record, they're only losing games on average by a point, which is crazy to say for a team that's nowhere near 500. And so we'll see how that plays into effect later in this game. For Michigan State, what have you seen so far? Obviously, the scoreline is not in favor of the Spartans, but I mean, Tom Izzo, I can't imagine he's too worried right now.
No, I agree. They've Jay Nakins has all 5 of Michigan State's points. And usually that's what you kind of see. Jay Nakins starts. He does well at the beginning, and then Tyson Walker really finds his groove towards the end of the first half and into the second half. So right now, it's not that they're still getting warm, but they definitely they play better down the stretch than they do at the beginning. So, no, I agree. I don't think Tom Izzo's worried at all. I think they're doing a good job on offense, moving the ball. And on defense, they could be rebounding a little better. But I think largely that they're comfortable where they are right now, 4 minutes into this game.
So back to action here at the Breslin. Spartans have it. It's Trey Holloman. Flips it back out to Jason Kohler. Extra pass to Akins. Cooper now. Outside, Holloman for 3, wide open, Drano. Tie game in East Lansing once again at 8.
That ball move we talked about, moving the ball well, using the big men, and then just getting to your shooters beyond the arc.
Llewellyn now has it, dribbling right by Tom Izzo, who always is perched right next to the court, almost encroaching on it. Terrence Williams comes off a curl. Williams looking for it, fronted by Holloman. Flips it back out to Burnett. Namari Burnett, one of the best shooters for the Wolverines, not a best ball handler, loses it. Gets it back briefly, though. Burnett flips it outside. Cheddar for 3. Off the mark, short. Rebounded by Kohler. Michigan State pushes the floor now. Hoggard into the lane. A.J. Hogard loses it, and they're going to say it's Michigan ball. I'm not sure about that, nor are the fans.
No, I do not agree. I mean, the ball was jumbled up. There was about four or five players in the paint there, but referee probably had a better look at it than we did.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sparty faithful were not too happy there. So Michigan makes a substitution, though. Jace Howard onto the court for the Wolverines. Damari Burnett will take a rest on the bench. Llewellyn now across the logo. Eventually finds Jace Howard. Howard looking for it. Tyson Walker is all over Terrence Williams II. Interesting lineup for the Wolverines. Jace Howard now. Outside Llewellyn. Down low to Will Cheddar off the right block. Llewellyn's going to have to force a deep three and got them all. How about that for Jalen Llewellyn?
Wow. Yeah, that did not look like they had anything going right there, but he just makes a tough shot.
And those are the threes that Michigan's certainly going to need. Pick and roll for Hogarth at the top of the key. Michigan's got Terrace Reed Jr. on A.J. Hogarth. Cooper down low. Now against Terrence Williams spinning. Cooper, easy bucket. Misses the layup, though, and Will Cheddar gets a board.
That is something the Spartans have struggled with all year, finishing in the paint with their big men. Cooper struggles. Sissoko struggles as well. They just got to make those easy layups.
Llewellyn now working on two-man game with Will Cheddar. Dumps it down low to Terrace Reed Jr. Reed going to work. Flips up the left-hand layup and in. And Michigan takes a 13-8 lead here early in East Lansing.
Yeah, Cooper should take notes on that one.
Hogarth now. High screen from Cooper, and then Hogarth throws it away. It's going to be Michigan basketball. How about this start? And the Wolverines bench is all up on their feet right now. Certainly a lot of energy coming from the maize and blue.
Yeah, huge miscommunication by the Spartans there. And causes a turnover. And the Wolverines couldn't ask for a better start, really. Be up by 5 right now. It's kind of exactly where they want to be.
Llewellyn across midcourt. Gets a two-horn screen from Cheddar, as well as Terrace Reed. They eventually go to Reed at the right block. Terrace Reed now working on it. Gets fouled, they say. And that'll be the third team foul on Michigan State, on Trey Holloway. So 13:21 to go in the first half. 20 seconds on the shot clock here, and Michigan leading 13-8.
Tom Izzo's not happy about that one, but when is he ever?
I was just going to say, it seems like he's always pretty frustrated throughout the games, even if his team, is up 25. Terrence Williams now has it at the right wing. Goes outside to Jace Howard. Howard dribbling in. Jace Howard with a loose dribble. Goes back outside to Terrence Williams. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and they call a double dribble on Terrence Williams. Michigan State will get possession back here.
Yeah, that's something Wolverines have been doing well for the past few weeks, is limiting turnovers. But that's a mistake you don't really want to make right there. It almost seemed like the ref fell for the student section shot clock.
That's what I was just going to say, because they blew the whistle right as the student section was screaming for the imitating the shot clock, but double dribble is the call. Tyson Walker now back to action at the top of the key. He's going to get a screen from Sissoko. Flips it outside to Malik Hall. Dribbles up into the layup, free throw line, jumper doesn't go. Rebounded by Terrace Reed.
Michigan's doing a good job forcing Tyson Walker to rely on other guys. They're double teaming him, forcing the ball out, and Sparty's other guys are just not doing it.
Well, now into the lane, flips up a floater, and it goes for Michigan. Wolverines lead is 7 now. Tyson Walker quickly across the timeline. Holloman at the top of the key gets a screen from Sissoko, then flips it back out to Walker. Walker, the leading scorer for Michigan State so far this season, averaging 19 a game. Walker dribbling in, floats up a little free throw line jumper, doesn't go. Trey Jackson gets the rebound.
Yeah, defensively the Wolverines are doing a great job limiting this Sparty offense.
And then a steal by Tyson Walker on Trey Jackson. Walker now running the fast break. Euro steps his way into the lane and then flips it up, and he gets fouled by Trey Jackson. Shot is no good. And we'll get the under 12-minute timeout as Tyson Walker will have 2 free throws awaiting him after the break here with 11:52 to go. Michigan leads it 15-8.
Yeah, it looks like Tyson Walker almost blocked the pump fake right there. That was interesting.
Yeah, and what a start for the Wolverines. I mean, a 7-point lead. It hasn't been anything, honestly, too special. Maybe maybe is it a result of Michigan State just not making the shots that they would usually make, or has it been something that Michigan's been doing defensively that's been stifling the Spartans so far?
Well, I think on the defensive side of the ball for Michigan, you can definitely see them working hard to contain the Spartans' best players. Tyson Walker, like I said, they're forcing him to play to his teammates, to pass the ball, and like maybe that's not how they're drawing it up. That's not what they're expecting because Sparty's offense is kind of falling flat due to Michigan's defensive pressure. And then, like you said, they're missing a lot of key shots. AJ Hogard has had a couple crucial misses, a couple easy open floaters, and they just won't go. And it's kind of the opposite is true for Michigan. Once they get down there, they get into a rhythm on offense. They have easy shots and they make them. They've had a couple missed threes, but obviously that's going to happen. So I think the story right now is shooting and defensive pressure. Michigan is being more aggressive on defense than the Spartans, and they're shooting better, which I think is a recipe if you want to come in here and upset the Spartans at home.
Michigan on a 7-0 run over the last 2:45 in this game. The Spartans are on a 356 scoring drought. Of course, that is going to likely change when Tyson Walker steps up to the free throw line after this break. But nonetheless, they have not scored a field goal in the last 4 minutes of this contest. Quite the surprise so far for the Michigan State team that came in as double-digit favorites.
Right. You don't want to jump to too many conclusions. Only 8 minutes in, but right now it definitely seems like Michigan is in control. They're playing better basketball right now.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And so here we go. The Spartan mascot running around across the logo here at the Breslin Center. But we're getting ready to come back to action. James, one quick thing. Olivier Kemwa is still out for the Wolverines. Hasn't played the last 5 minutes. He has 2 personal fouls. He's likely not going to come in for the rest of this first half, possibly. Is Michigan doing what they need to without him? I mean, he right now is the lead scorer for this squad without Doug McDaniel.
Right now, I think that they are. They're I think they're playing to their strengths without him. Obviously, you want him in, but like the 7-0 run, I think they're doing well enough without him, and I think that they'll be even bolster higher when he comes back in.
It's absolutely quiet here at the Breslin Center as Tyson Walker misses his first free throw, shooting 73.9% from the charity stripe this season. The leading scorer for the Spartans misses the first of the pair. Takes 3 dribbles, squat of the knees, and swishes the second one. So 15-9 is now the score in favor of the maize and blue. Wolverines with Trey Jackson on the court right now. Of course, the transfer from Seton Hall. He has a face mask on after incurring a couple of face injuries in their most recent game against Iowa. Burnett now dumps it off to Trey Jackson, who loses control of it. The referee says it was tipped, so Michigan gets it right back near the timeline. Burnett, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Namari Burnett runs into the baseline, fires it outside. Terrace Reed's going to take a 3 and make a 3. How about that from Terrace Reed Jr.?
Wow. Yep. Just another staple of what this Michigan offense is doing well right now. Without their best players in, with Kemway with 2 fouls and Doug McDaniel suspended, they're doing a great job getting the ball to different playmakers.
And I believe that is Terrace Reed Jr.'s first 3-pointer of his career. Hogard now on the other side, flips on the layup up and in, and Michigan State gets a quick answer. AJ Hogard looking. He's 15 points away from scoring his 1,000th career point today and would become just the 7th Michigan State player with 1,000 points and 500 assists. We're going to get a Michigan foul, though, on offense. Michigan State's going to get it right back on Will Cheddar here, and that's going to be the 5th team foul on the Wolverines.
Yeah, you mentioned A.J. Hogard, close to 1,000 points. I think Michigan State really they wanted him to come back this year, and it was a big decision that he did because down the stretch last year they were very good, and they were hoping to carry some of that momentum into this year, which is why they were ranked so high in the preseason. Yeah, very old lineup for sure for the Spartans here. Tyson Walker has it on the left wing. Gets doubled briefly by Burnett and Cheddar. Flips it back out. Aikens wide open for 3. Got it. And Michigan State answers back.
And the Spartans cut it to 4, 18-14 with just over 10 to go.
Right, that's that rhythm we talked about. Tom Izzo likes to be patient, and it's paying off down the stretch here.
And the Izzo now starting to get loud. Burnett gets a screen from Cheddar. Amari Burnett trying to find a shot, flips it back out. Terrace Reed now at the left elbow. Reed dribbles in, flips it to Cheddar, who then finds it back to Terrace Reed, who then turns it over. A.J. Hogard has it and races through the transition. Tyson Walker now probing his way around and eventually resets on the left wing. He gets a screen from Sissoko. Outside, Aikens open again on the left wing, and this one's just too long. Rebounded by the Spartans, though. Back out, Hogard now for three, wide open off the back heel. And eventually it's corralled back in by Matty Sissoko, who then goes outside to Tyson Walker. And Michigan State's going to reset with 14 on the shot clock. Hogard now dribbling with his right hand off the mark. Flips it outside. Tyson Walker wide open now. Off the mark again. A game of pinball here at the Breslin.
Wow, what a sequence there. Three. Wow.
Now, on the other end, the Wolverines quickly answer with the Trey Jackson layup.
Yeah, 2 offensive rebounds there by Sissoko, and then 1 amazing save to go out of bounds, but only for it to culminate in 3 missed threes for the Spartans.
And Xavier Booker looking to get going, the true freshman from Indianapolis. Tyson Walker has it at the logo. Walker shakes Burnett, then steps into a mid-range and got it. Fouled by Burnett. They'll have a chance for the and one to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. 20-16 is now the score in favor of the Michigan Wolverines with 8:47 to go, but Tyson Walker will have a free throw awaiting him.
Yeah, this is what Tyson Walker does. He starts a little cool, lets his teammates get going, and then he starts to amp it up, and that was just a beautiful floater from him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tyson Walker has been so good so far this season. The graduate student from Westbury, New York, averaging 19 a game, shooting 74% from the line. And you could hear a pen drop here as he misses the free throw. And it's going to be Michigan ball as Kohler wasn't able to corral the rebound in and went out of bounds off the baseline.
Oh, it was a little awkward down there. Looked like Cheddar and Kohler fell over each other.
And Cohen Carr will come into the game for the Spartans for Tyson Walker, the high-flying true freshman. And so the 5 for the Wolverines is Jalen Llewellyn, Will Cheddar, Terrace Reed, Damari Burnett, Trey Jackson, who has it right now. Jackson near the charity stripe, takes a step outside to the 3, and then dribbles into the lane, off the glass, and flips the floater in. How about that tough bucket by number 2?
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was just a playmaker making a play. It's just a real tough shot.
Yeah, my goodness. Here's Aikens now. He already has a couple threes. They flip it outside. Booker wide open, and he banks it in. Did he call it? I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, Michigan State cuts the lead to 3 with 8 to go.
And Michigan State is shooting the 3 ball very well right now.
Trey Jackson wanted to answer, hesitated from behind the arc, and will now dribble it into the right block. Jackson going to work with the face mask, and then has it blocked by Booker, but they're going to call a foul on Michigan State. That's going to be the 4th team foul on the Spartans, and we'll get the under 8 timeout. 22-19 is the score in favor of the Wolverines with 7:49 to go.
And the A-Zone is not happy about that call. The boos are raining down.
And we're looking at the replay. It does look like Xavier Booker gets the left arm, the shooting arm of Trey Jackson. So Tom Izzo can be mad all he wants, but Trey Jackson's going to have 2 free throws awaiting him here.
Yeah, definitely got a piece of him there, but.
How about this atmosphere, though, James? I mean, it is just loud and ruckus. If you did not know that these teams were in-state rivals and were only looking at their records and saw that the away team Michigan today obviously coming in 7-13, couldn't imagine that this stadium would be so loud, but considering the rivalry, the Michigan State faithful certainly showed up.
Oh, no, it's absolutely electric. I'm an East Lansing native myself, and so they know all about they're very, very passionate fan base here. They could be 2-15 or 18-0. They would show out for this game at highest numbers of ever.
And so how about this for Michigan State? Of course, they've cut the lead back down to 3 for Michigan. The Wolverines will have a couple free throws awaiting them, but they've kind of narrowed down this game a little bit. And so what has changed over the last 5 minutes here in this game for the Spartans to start to come back?
I think they're playing better defense. I think they are. We saw a couple forced turnovers on the defensive side of the ball, and they're preventing offensive rebounds, which is what they were not doing in the former half of basketball. So yeah, the forcing of turnovers, getting out of the court, and getting Tyson Walker involved, beating the double teams, beating the defense, like utilizing the turnovers to get points has just made them better down the stretch here.
No doubt. Michigan, they've made their last 6 field goals, interestingly enough, from the field. It's been turnovers as well as offensive fouls that have been the reason why Michigan State has tightened their grip on this game. For the Wolverines so far, 5 turnovers in this game. Michigan State, conversely, with 4. Wolverines shooting 75% from the field, though, James. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's definitely something to take note of. They've been super shot efficient. They move the ball well, and you wouldn't expect that with Doug McDaniel out, and with 6 fouls, they've got guys on the bench, but they've been moving the ball, they've been shooting well, which is exactly the recipe that we talked about for them coming in to win this game.
Yeah, and give credit to Juwan Howard. I mean, Michigan has certainly come prepared for this game. They have the energy. Howard, of course, looking for his first win in East Lansing as the head coach of the Wolverines. His head coaching record against the Spartans is 4-4 on the season. And so, as you can hear, the loud Izzone coming back to action here. Trey Jackson's at the charity stripe and leaves the first free throw short. Jackson, a 73% free throw shooter on the season. And Michigan State fans getting loud as they know 2 straight missed free throws means some free McChicken bites. Jackson does not allow that to happen, though, as he gets the roll on the second free throw. So the Wolverines extend the lead to 4.
Yeah, you mentioned Juwan Howard being 4-4 in an environment here. These teams have split every year for the past 4 years, each winning at their respective homes.
Yeah, very even matchup for sure. Jackson Kohler into the game, and Kohler looked for the ball, has it poked free by Kamwa, but eventually holds on to it. Kohler now at the left block. Kohler flips it up and around and out. Rebounded by Olivier Kamwa, playing with 2 personal fouls right now.
Michigan State just cannot convert in the paint. We've seen it all season. We've seen it several times tonight.
7:10 to go in the first half. Michigan with a 4-point lead. Llewellyn outside to Trey Jackson in the corner. Jackson dribbling on the baseline, and we get a foul called on Jackson Kohler.
That's another mistake by a big man, this time on the other side of the court.
They're actually going to call it on number 5, Trey Holloman, which will be his second personal. So Holloman's going to sit. Tyson Walker comes back into the game. The lineup for the Spartans is Walker, Akins, Cohen Carr, Kohler, and Hall. Michigan gets inbounds. Terrence Williams steps into a fall-away jumper and got it. Swish of the net for the Wolverines, and it's 25-19 now.
It's that efficient shooting we've been talking about. Just really helping the Wolverines out here.
Walker gets a high screen behind the back, passes it back out to Malik Hall. He'll dribble it into the lane, spinning, falls away, and nothing but net from Malik Hall with 6:40 to go as Michigan State cuts it to 4.
That was a great shot, great response by the Wolverines, or by the Spartans rather. Just coming down, making a quick play on offense, trying to cut the lead, trying to cut the deficit.
Michigan goes down low to Kamwa with the signature fadeaway, got it at the left block. Quick answer for the Wolverines.
Yeah,
here comes Tyson Walker now.
It's going back and forth, these 2 teams.
Akins now on the left wing. Eventually up to Tyson Walker at the point. Walker gets a screen from Kohler, looking for the pick and roll. They go back out to Cohen Carr, the explosive freshman, into the lane, off the glass and in, and gives Trey Jackson a little bit of a stare after that bucket to cut it to 4.
You never know with him. He could jump from behind the arc and slam it down. Yeah, that was just a great shot by the freshman.
Little slip screen, and Kamwa gets absolutely blocked and rejected by Cohen Carr. My goodness, you just admitted how we never know with this true freshman. I mean, he came up out of nowhere with a 40-inch vert right there to block Olivier Kamwa.
What a player and what a play on both sides of the ball.
Wow. I mean, my goodness, he came out of nowhere, did Cohen Carr. It was a little slip screen by Kamwa, who thought he was going to be wide open. Michigan gets it back, though, here. Terrace Reed at the top of the key. Picks up the dribble, goes to Kamwa at the right elbow. Olivier Kamwa into the lane, flips it off the glass and in. What a tough bucket by this transfer from Tennessee.
Yeah, no, Michigan is just not letting anything slow down their shooting right now.
Hogard gets a high screen. Goes back outside. Eventually, Malik Hall gets it at the left corner. Juwan Howard barking out orders. Tyson Walker into the lane, the reverse, off the glass and out. Rebounded by Terrace Reed. And here comes Llewellyn quickly across the court.
Yeah, I think that's the difference right now. Michigan State is not making their tough shots, while Michigan has hit almost all of them.
The Princeton transfer, Jalen Llewellyn, dumps it off to Terrace Reed at the right block. Reed now working on Cooper. Back outside Llewellyn, extra pass. They go to Trey Jackson at the left corner. He goes down to Kamwa. Is he going to go for that signature fadeaway? Kamwa dumps it down low, and it's stolen by Tyson Walker. Here comes Hogard in the transition. Outside, Akins wanted a three, flips it back out. Hogard now. Cross-court pass to Tyson Walker, waiting on the near wing.
Yeah, Malik Hall didn't know if that ball was for him or not.
Hogard back up to Walker at the point. Tyson Walker working on Terrace Reed. Speed advantage here. Walker flips it up and gets it blocked by Terrace Reed out of bounds. Reed was all over that one.
A little stare down at the end there by Terrence Reed. Got us some justice for what Cohen Carr did.
29-23 is the score in favor of the Michigan Wolverines, the surprising underdog with a 6-point lead with 4:28 to go in the first half. 10 seconds on the shot clock as we get reset here. Hogard will be the trigger man. Goes outside to the far corner to Tyson Walker. He flips it up to Cooper. Walker looking for it. Foot on the line. Jumper. Got it. And the officials are going to mark it as a three for now. We'll see if they go back on that. I thought his foot was on the line.
I agree. I thought he was pretty clearly in the shaded part of the court there.
And there we go. They already adjusted it. So 29-25 is the score. Michigan, Burnett for three from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Malik Hall.
Yeah, that's something you just, as Michigan, you just don't want to slow down shooting. Yeah, it's a big shot. You don't really want to miss that, but, you know.
Hogard now in the near wing. Cross-court pass to Tyson Walker. High screen coming from Cooper. Walker rubs it and goes back out to Hogard. Hogard looking for 15 points today to get 1,000 on his career. And he'll take a jump shot from the free throw line off the mark, rebounded by Terrace Reed.
Yeah, the Spartans just have not been hitting very much from mid-range tonight.
Terrence Williams Jr., or the second, excuse me, gets it. Steps into a three on the left wing. Off the mark, off the right. Rebounded by Kamwa. Flips it outside to Llewellyn. Wide open three. Got them all with 3:20 to go, and Michigan extends the lead to 7 in the first half.
Yep, offensive rebound, three-point shooting. Michigan's been doing it all game. They continue to do it now.
Juwan Howard was almost on the court. The officials had to push him back. Akins, wide open three from the corner. Got it. Bingo for Michigan State. And they cut it to 28-32 with just under 3 minutes to go now in the first half.
Yeah, Jaden Akins has kind of been the go-to guy for the Spartans in this first half. He's 3 for 4 from 3 and 4 from 5 field goal.
Kamwa, a step inside the three-point arc in the left corner, gets tripped up and fouled by Jaden Akins. And Olivier Kamwa draws the 6th team foul on Michigan State. With 2:43 to go, we'll have our under 4 timeout. Michigan leading by 4, 32-28. A surprise start here for the Maize and Blue.
Right, and several times it's looked like Michigan is going to extend their lead, really take off. But Sparty's always fighting back, just like keeping it close, not letting this get away from them as they should, coming as such the big favorites that they were. Michigan's doing a great job, but once you see them start missing shots and having turnovers, Michigan State can just crawl right back in it and never really let it get that out of reach.
And as of right now, I mean, the field goal percentages, the efficiency from the field is just something to marvel at. Michigan 68% from the field right now. Even Michigan State at 50%. Got to be somewhat surprised that they're losing this game right now, shooting 50% from the field.
Right, yeah, and I think that's just a testament to how a shot efficient Michigan has been. For however well Sparty's shooting, Michigan is just still shooting better. Another thing to note is Michigan State's 33% from the free throw line, which is, it's not huge. They've only had a few shots, but that's something to note going down, especially if we get into crunch time and Michigan State cannot hit their free throws.
Yeah, no doubt. And to your point, they've missed 2 free throws so far. The Wolverines have also missed 2, shooting 50% from the charity stripe. Very interesting start here. 6 turnovers for the Wolverines, not the characteristically high number that it usually has been this season. That's got to be attributed, obviously, to maybe this lead for the Wolverines. If you're Tom Izzo, James, you have just over 2.5 minutes left in this first half. How do you get your team up going into the tunnel?
Honestly, I say I think you just give your players a chance to make plays. I would slow it down a little bit. They've been rushing. Well, when they rush, they're not making their shots. Like the quick threes have not been going well for them. Like we saw with the offensive rebounds kicked back out, they're just not hitting those. I would slow it down. I would move the ball a lot, and I would get Jaden Akins the ball beyond the arc, and I would give Tyson Walker a chance to make a few plays, and I would continue to force turnovers.
And so far for Michigan State, the leading scorer is Jaden Akins. He's 3 for 4 from behind the arc. From Michigan, conversely, it is Jalen Llewellyn with 9 points, mainly coming off his 2 threes that he's had. Llewellyn, not really known as a big-time three-point shooter. His three-point efficiency right now is actually 53%, which is unbelievable on its own, but he doesn't take that many shots. Hasn't even played in that many games as Llewellyn. This is only his 11th game of the season.
Right, yeah, obviously he's here replacing Doug McDaniel. And I think he's risen to the occasion. He's doing a great job. He's playing similarly to how Doug would be doing if he was here. He's getting open, he's making his threes, and he's really he's leading this offense to a 4-point lead right now, almost going into the half.
Maize and Blue have to be happy. Of course, Juwan Howard has preached on the importance of winning this game. This team has been under fire just a ton so far this whole season, but especially as of recently. Past Michigan star Nick Stauskas said that these players didn't understood what it took to wear the Maize M, to wear the block M, that they have a lack of respect there. Well, they're certainly showing up today. Inbound to Terrence Williams. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Williams into the lane, flips it outside. Jace Howard into the game. Right wing. He goes outside to Terrence Williams. Under 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Kamwa, the left wing, dumps it down low to Terrace Reed at the left block. Reed flips it into the lane, off the backboard and out. Rebounded by Akins.
Yeah, that was great ball movement right there. Michigan State just did a great job stifling it.
We're going to get a whistle on the court here. We're not too sure what the call is, but nonetheless, Michigan State will inbound and start their possession with 2:20 to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. If that was a foul, Michigan State would have got a one-on-one.
Yeah, Cohen Carr now at the top of the key. Akins comes off a little curl, leaves it short, and rebounded eventually by Olivier Kamwa.
Yeah, Cohen Carr and Sosoko were fighting over it. They both had a hand on it. Not a Michigan player around, but then Wolverines end up getting the ball.
The Finnish native with 6 points for the Wolverines, 3 rebounds now. Terrence Williams at the near wing. Gets a little slip from Olivier Kamwa. Goes outside to Jalen Llewellyn. He gets a quick pick from Terrace Reed. Llewellyn's going to have to make something happen. Steps into a 3. Got it! Jalen Llewellyn, my goodness, what a confidence booster it's been for this Michigan team. A 7-point lead now with 1.5 minutes to go in the first half.
You asked me what Tom Izzo needed to do to go into the half.
Not that.
Yeah, not that. No, Michigan did exactly what Michigan State needed to do. And then Michigan State just did not do it right. Oh, here we go again.
Hall now into the lane. Gets a right-handed layup to go off the glass and in. 1 minute and 13 to go. It's a 5-point Michigan lead in the first half, and Juwan Howard's going to use his first timeout here to get the Maize and Blue reset to use, a big possession here, interestingly enough.
Right. Yeah, Michigan State here, they're just going to play tight defense. They're going to play good defense. Michigan's obviously going to try and take as much time as they can off this clock. So if you're Michigan State, the big thing is going to be get the offensive board. If they miss, you need to get the rebound, because if Michigan gets one, let alone two offensive rebounds, Sparty's not going to have the ball on offense for the rest of this half. Down 5, potentially going down 7 or 8, and in the second half, that's not what you want to see. You want to force a turnover, get an offensive rebound, get to the other side, take your time, score.
Jalen Llewellyn is having just a whale of a game right now, so to say. 12 points for Llewellyn, coming off of 3 3-pointers. He's yet to miss a shot from the field at 4 of 4 from the field. He's only missed 1 free throw, so Llewellyn off to quite the start. His plus-minus is also 8, James. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, no doubt about that. To win this game, he's got to stay hot in the second half. I believe that he can do it. We will see.
Burnett will be the trigger man off the sideline for the Wolverines. 25 seconds on the shot clock with 1:10 to go on the game clock in the first half. Llewellyn gets a screen from Reed into the lane. Llewellyn flips it up short and eventually corralled in by Hogard.
Michigan went much faster there than I expected them to.
A.J. Hogard now gets set. He had an open 3, didn't take it, and then eventually draws the foul that's going to be called on the court on Jalen Llewellyn.
Yeah, it's a good foul for Michigan there. Stops them from getting those points. Hogard will get a 1-and-1 here.
A.J. Hogard, a 83% free throw shooter on the season, as he'll await his first of a pair here. And you'll hear it get dead silent at the Breslin Center. Hogard in and out for the first free throw, and then gets it back. His own rebound, and then puts it up and in. A.J. Hogard somehow makes the 1-and-1 count and was going to have a and-1 opportunity out of it.
Yeah, we talked about Michigan State missing their free throws. Well, A.J. Hogard missed right there, but he capitalized. He made it worth it.
Wow, 35-32 is now the score, and that is exactly what Juwan Howard and Michigan did not want. 51.5 seconds remain on the game clock in this first half. And just like that, James, I mean, Michigan State could tie this game, possibly even take a lead going into half. Hogard gets the and-1 to go and completes the old-fashioned three-point play. So it's a 2-point game now here in East Lansing, and the Spartan bench is on their feet, urging the crowd to get loud for the rest of this first half.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Michigan went so fast right there coming out of that timeout. They gave Sparta the ball back, and now they'll get another chance to possess the ball with about a 20-second difference between the shot and game clock.
To the game for Malik Hall. Jalen Llewellyn has it just past the timeline. They're wasting the shot clock all the way down. 10 seconds on the clock. Llewellyn gets a screen off the right hip. Outside to Terrence Williams, wide open for 3 from left corner, off the mark, long, rebounded by Cooper. Here comes Michigan State. They're likely going to waste this one down. They're going to first call a timeout by Tom Izzo. And Michigan State, despite losing the entire first half and down 2 points with a score of 35-33, will have a chance to take the lead or tie the game at halftime here.
Yeah, that is just not what the Wolverines wanted to see right there. I'm sure that falls down to coaching, but the last 2 minutes there were just an absolute disaster. And it wasn't even big things; it was little things. They went too fast coming out of the timeout. They fouled AJ Hogard, twice, allowing Michigan State to get 3 points. And then they went down the court. They went down. They didn't have a great offensive plan. They just chucked up a 3, didn't go. Now Michigan State has a chance to tie or take the lead.
And certainly one of many, controversial, coaching decisions by Juwan Howard so far this season. Just as you mentioned, I mean, there was no need to take only 5-10 seconds off that shot clock. As you mentioned, Michigan could have had the ball last year. Instead, Michigan State gets a great opportunity where Tom Izzo gets to draw up a play off of a sideline inbounds to possibly tie this game.
Right. I think they'll want to give it to Jaden Akins or Tyson Walker. Let them shoot it deep. But maybe they'll Sosco go to work in the paint. We will see.
Akins will be the inbounder. 22.2 seconds are on the game clock here. The shot clock is null. Akins inbounds to Hogard. He's going to hold it for a while here. Pretty quiet here at the Breslin Center. 15 seconds on the game clock. Hogard yet to put the ball down. Now he does. Goes to Walker. A couple off-ball screens coming. Tyson Walker gets the switch on Terrace Reed. 5 seconds on the game clock. Walker into the lane, trying to find a shot. Outside, it's Hogard at the top of the key. Forces a shot that is blocked by Trey Jackson at the half. How about that for the Michigan Wolverines? They'll hold on to a 2-point lead with a score of 35-33. The Maize and Blue pulling off a little bit of a surprise so far in the first half, leading the Michigan State Spartans.
Right, that was great defense by the Wolverines right there. It looked like Tom Izzo wanted Tyson Walker to go to work, make the play himself, and Michigan just did a great job recognizing that and absolutely smothering him. He didn't have anywhere to go. He kicked it out to Hogard, who just had to put up a bad three. It just didn't work out for the Spartans.
And certainly a surprise here at the Breslin. I mean, I can't imagine too many people came into this game expecting the score to be what it is after the first half, but definitely not expecting this Michigan team to definitely come in here and compete. Well, they've done so far. Many questions will remain. How does Michigan hold on to this lead and eventually take it to the finish line and pull off the, pretty big shocker here at East Lansing?
Right. Well, we've seen them shoot the ball very well. They need to continue to do that, but they also need to limit mistakes. Their turnovers have been costly, especially towards the back end of that half. And then in terms of coaching, they can't afford to have a similar misstep as they did with 2 minutes left coming to that timeout. They need to be smart, and they need to stay hot from beyond the arc and from mid-range.
Yeah, and so for the Wolverines, they've shot the ball extremely well. They came into this season shooting 46.4% from the field on average. 61% today, though, James. I mean, they've made 14 of 23 shots. They're shooting 56% from three, and it's not like they've only taken two. They've taken 9 threes and made 5 of them. I mean, just an unbelievable clip that they're shooting at right now. Michigan State, not too shabby on their own. They're also shooting 50% from the three-point arc, and they're shooting 50% from the field. I mean, why are the Spartans in the position that they are? Is Michigan just making all these tough shots?
Yeah, I'd say once the play breaks down and you kind of got to improvise, Michigan has been doing a much better job with tough finishes and getting the ball back. Michigan State will dump it to Sosko, who will throw it off the rim. Michigan State's getting the offensive rebounds. They just cannot. They just can't put the ball. They just can't put it back up. And when they kick it out for three, it's missed. Where on the other end, the Wolverines are getting a lot of second chance points. When they convert a turnover, they'll convert turnovers into points, and they'll get offensive rebounds and they'll dish it out and they'll score. And Michigan State's just not been able to do that to the same level.
Yeah, for the Wolverines, the team high today is Jalen Llewellyn here in the first half. 12 points coming off of 3 threes. Terrace Reed leads the team with 6 rebounds so far. And Michigan, I mean, at one point they had a 9-point lead with 11:25 left in the first half, and they're up 18-9. They have dominated this game so far, but Michigan State has certainly hung in there, and they've tightened their grip on this as of recently. For the Spartans, on the other hand, it's all started with Jaden Akins really from behind the three-point arc. He has 11 points at halftime with 3 of 4 from 3, 4 of 6 from the field. Tyson Walker, the leading scorer for Michigan State, with just 5 points at half, and Hogard also with just 5 of his own. Keep in mind, A.J. Hogard is 10 points away now from hitting the 1,000 career point milestone. He'll become the 7th player in Michigan State history to have 1,000 points and 500 assists to his name. So definitely, a milestone to watch out for, in addition to Tom Izzo looking for his 700th career win today. But for Michigan State, not the first half that they wanted, obviously for the reasons that you mentioned. What is the key to the game for them in the second half to flip the script and eventually come out on top at that end?
Well, I think if you want to boil it down to one thing, I think Tyson Walker needs to shoot a little bit better. Well, we talked about both Michigan and Michigan State are shooting well from the field. Tyson Walker is not. He's 2 for 7 from 2 for 7 field goals, and he's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. He's their leading scorer. He's their big playmaker, so they're going to continue to give him the ball. But if they continue to give him the ball and he continues to miss, they will not win this basketball game. So Tyson Walker needs to play better, or they need to get more people involved. He cannot always be the first option.
It's a great point, and I think, possibly Does that come down to A.J. Hogarth? Does it come down to Akins making more threes? Who do you think possibly has to take the brunt of the load if Tyson Walker can't start getting his shooting clip up for the rest of this game?
Jaden Akins has been shooting great all night so far. I think if they want to go to one specific shooter in crunch time, it should have been him. I thought that's what they were going to do on that final inbound play. I thought they would kill some time and then get it to Akins beyond the arc and just let him go to work. Rather, they went to Tyson Walker as they want to do. He's their star, and Michigan just smothered him. That was I imagine that was their game plan coming in. They said they likely said, okay, Tyson Walker, he's the playmaker, he's the star. We got to suffocate him. We got to limit him, and they've been doing a great job at it. Holding such a low field goal percentage is evident of that, and then so that they're focused on.
But for Michigan State, this is to really have a bad loss to their resume. This would count as that. For Michigan on the other side, it would count as a quad 1 win. But certainly for the Wolverines, they're not even thinking about the tournament just yet. They got to start stringing together some good wins. Could possibly start today. We have around 9.5 minutes left in the halftime break, and we're going to go away for about 4 or 5 minutes, and Peter Nasr as well as Daniel Olson will take over the call for WCBN Sports. Once again, we want to thank you all for listening to the Michigan Student Radio and WCBN Sports FM radio on YouTube. We really appreciate all your support, and we really appreciate you continuing to listen to our great student broadcasters. We'll take 5, but we'll be back very soon. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Breslin Center here in East Lansing, Michigan. The Michigan Wolverines put up an excellent fight in that first half and have taken the lead into halftime, 35-33 over the Michigan State Spartans. Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Olson, and joining me for the second half is Peter Nasr. And Peter, an excellent first half from the Wolverines, who go in the opposite direction of the Spartans, who have come in winning 8 of 11. Michigan's lost 8 of their last 9, but again, a familiar spot up at halftime and a chance to make a statement here on the road.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Both teams are on opposite sides of the trajectory coming into this game. But for Michigan, the rivalry game is a great game to kind of reset, change your focus, put all that behind you, go into against your biggest rival on the road, against one of the best environments I've ever been a part of, and try to just come away with the win. And they shot the lights out that first half. Jalen Llewellyn was 3 for 3 from 3, 4 for 5 from the field. Can Michigan sustain that shooting? Probably not. So they're going to have to step up defensively. They left some open looks on both in the paint and on 3. Michigan State shooting 50% from both respectively. So if you're Michigan, obviously you have to think about what's hurt you these past few games throughout this whole season. It's just blowing the leads that you've sustained. Michigan was up around 7 early in this first half. Can they just put that first half behind them, focus in again, hone in defensively specifically, because the shooting is going to slow down a little bit? Can they avoid giving up the big run? Because a big run here in this building could really open the floodgates. So Michigan has to work to just avoid the big run and just hang around with the Spartans. And if they can do that, keep it close late in the game, at that point, any team has a chance to win.
And Michigan has had some struggles in the second half, as we've mentioned. They've had leads against Minnesota, Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State, and Iowa at the half. They've also had double-digit leads in a few of those games in the second half, and they are 1-4 in those basketball games. Looking to turn that around here tonight. As we're getting ready for the second half from East Lansing, you mentioned the atmosphere here, Peter. Puts Chrysler Arena to shame.
I can barely hear you from right next to you right now, and it's just that's what Michigan has to do. You cannot let this crowd get into it. They got a couple opportunities to get real loud. We had Cohen Carr showing his athleticism on a monster block on Kamwa, and just for this Michigan, just keep your composure, do your thing, and just battle in this rivalry game.
And we're underway here in the second half with Tyson Walker on the right wing for the Spartans. Akins comes to the top, collects, and flips to Højgaard, working off a screen. Back Walker, now Akins in the corner. It's the same starting groups for both teams here. 15 on the clock. Walker works left and is fouled by Namari Burnett. Walker, Akins, Højgaard, Hall, and Sissoko for the Spartans. Kamwa, Williams II, Reed Jr., Jalen Llewellyn, and Namari Burnett for the Wolverines, donning their all-maize uniforms today. 19 on the clock as it's entered into Højgaard. Now Sissoko at the top of the key, flips it to Walker. Gets pinned by a couple Michigan defenders, and now they work the ball into Sissoko on the left block. Working on Reed Jr. Right hook is short and collected by Terrace Reed.
You see Terrace Reed battle in there inside. He's going to have to continue to battle against the Spartan bigs.
Llewellyn brings it across the timeline, finds Burnett now on the right wing. Gets a screen from Kamwa, screen from Reed, and finds Llewellyn on the left wing now. 11 on the clock, Kamwa and the post. Burnett now fires a right wing 3, and that one's good. Namari Burnett fills it up from downtown, and the Wolverines take a 5-point lead. Spartans working quickly the other way. It's Walker at the top of the key. Kamwa switches onto him. Gets a screen from Sissoko. Now Reed Jr. on him. They go to Akins at the top. It's Williams II in coverage. Another screen from Sissoko. Akins works left. Quickly over to the wing, and Hall, who backs down on Llewellyn. Turns, fades, jumper's pure. Malik Hall with an excellent move in the lane.
It's a good shot by Hall, posting up on the smaller Llewellyn and using his size. Nice fadeaway jumper. Tough to stop.
18-23 and counting here in the second half. 15 on the clock now for Michigan. Ball entered into the low block to Kamwa with Hall on him. Works middle, pump fake. Up and under left hand, off the rim, controlled by Malik Hall. Sparty down 3, looking for a score to tie. Go down 1, and Højgaard gets all the way to the rack with the right hand off a steal from Hall. Michigan 38, Michigan State 37. Llewellyn controls the tempo for the Wolverines offense. Starts at the top of the key, gets a screen from Reed Jr. Now enters to Kama on the right block. Backs down Hall, left hand, gets inside and is fouled. Had a chance for a three-point play, but just rolled off the rim, and he'll get 2 free throws.
I really like Kama's aggressiveness in this game. He got a couple early fouls, so he had to sit for a bit, but we've seen him really trying to attack inside. He's got 6 points, 3 for 6 from the field, and now he's going to shoot free throws for the first time today, but he's got to be Michigan's lead man the second half and continue to stay aggressive.
Kama 68% from the line this season, misses the first, and as we've seen a couple times here tonight, Michigan player misses the first free throw. This crowd gets on their feet for a chance for some chicken nuggets via McDonald's.
The students, they definitely want their nuggets. They know what's on the line here.
There's Kamwa's second free throw is good. And the Wolverines establish a 2-point lead. 39-37, 17-40 and counting here in East Lansing. Højgaard at the top, controlling the Michigan State offense. Finds Walker now left wing, looking down the low block for Hall. 15 on the timer. Hall backing into Kamwa. Works middle, now comes baseline, left hand. Scoop is up and good. Beautiful move from Malik Hall. And we're knotted at 39. Llewellyn right wing, gets a screen from Reed Jr. Goes out Burnett, other wing. Now Llewellyn, top of the key. Big first half for the Wolverines. Drives, left-handed layup is off the front of the rim. In the hands of Reed Jr. Batted around, and now Tyson Walker's going the other way. An easy deuce, and the Spartans have their first lead of the second half.
After the inability to grab the board there, Reed had a chance to get the offensive rebound, let it go loose, and Walker with an easy deuce to get this crowd into it as they lead for the first time in a while.
Llewellyn rejects the screen from Reed Jr. Now finds him inside, and no call. It's off him. Out of bounds, Michigan State basketball. A turnover from Terrace Reed Jr. inside, and excellent defense from the Spartans.
Time for a big stop for the Wolverines. This crowd is into it. You have to hunker down and keep control of this game.
Højgaard left wing, gets a screen from Sissoko working to his right. Now fires cross-court corner. Akins wide open 3. Pure!
And as I say it, Akins left wide open in the corner for 3. And he's been on today. He's 4 or 5 from 3. Cannot do that if you're Michigan. And the Spartans with a 5-point lead, forcing the early second half timeout.
You've seen the Spartans get out in transition. They've tried to work quickly throughout this game. And what kind of problems do you think that's caused Michigan on the defensive end?
Michigan likes to settle things down defensively, and we've seen a couple lapses in coverage due to this quick pressure offense, or pressure fast break offense. We saw it there, and Amari Burnett was off of Jaden Akins and left Akins alone in the corner for 3. Akins with 14 points already, but yeah, you mentioned it. Michigan State has been really pushing the tempo, playing fast, trying to catch Michigan off guard, because we've seen Michigan have those lapses in coverage throughout this season and just trying to exploit that more, and we saw it there. They exploited it again, and Sparty up 5.
Spartans shooting 56% from the field, 55% from 3, 6 of 11 from downtown, as you mentioned, Peter. 4 of those threes from Akins himself. It's a 7-0 Michigan State run, 11-1 Michigan State run over the last 2-11, and we talked about this as we came on the air for the second half. Michigan has been blowing a lot of leads in the second half, and you can start to feel it slip away here from the Wolverines. No field goals in their last 2:37. What's the play call for Juwan Howard here out of this timeout?
I think you got to feed Llewellyn. He's been the hot hand today. He's shooting 4-6 from the field. He's been perfect from 3. Try to get him a good look, maybe with some penetration, maybe a kick out for an open 3. As Michigan's been shooting pretty well. Both teams have been shooting well from 3. We'll see what Juwan decides to draw up here, but we mentioned it, and you just mentioned it, the runs that Michigan gives up after the halftime. It's been killer all year, and for Michigan to give up a quick 11-1 run and now trail by 5, and this is the time to see what they're made of. You're missing your best player in Doug McDaniel, who's out suspended indefinitely for road games. Coming in, Michigan, they don't have a ton to lose in this game. They're facing a Michigan State team that cannot afford to lose this game, and it's time for Michigan to play hungry and see what they have left and continue to compete and end this run early, because this crowd's into it. You have to settle things down. We've been emphasizing that. They have to settle things down, get a couple shots, and play strong defensive basketball.
And it's a curious continuation for the Wolverines. It continually happens. These poor second halves, poor starts to second halves. You wonder what adjustments are being made in the locker room at halftime, if any at all, as we get set for play here, except maybe a little water on the court potentially.
Letting the Spartan fans finish the fight song and get ready to roll here.
16:27 to go here in the second half. Michigan down 5. State 44, Michigan 39. Llewellyn's at the top of the key, gets a screen from Terrace Reed Jr. Goes and sets another one for Terrence Williams II, who came off the curl hard and is fouled. Fouls on Matty Sissoko. That's his second. Good action there from the Wolverines out of the timeout.
Yeah, I liked getting Terrence Williams just cutting across the key, getting some speed going into as he was looking to drive inside and drawing the foul there. And we'll see what Michigan draws up underneath the basket with Llewellyn inbounding.
As Carson Cooper enters the game for Sissoko, Izzo with a big rotation of bigs. Llewellyn triggers into Reed Jr., now works to the left wing, and Burnett finds Llewellyn back at the top of the key. 11 on the timer. Gets a screen from Kamwa, rejects it, now goes one-on-one with Akins, kicks. Burnett, corner three, is up and long off the iron, batted around and out of bounds. Michigan State.
It's a good look from Burnett, but as we go right away to the under 16 timeout, another chance for Michigan to reset and try to get things going, but yeah, Burnett just missing the three there. A little fadeaway action there, but Michigan State's done a good job forcing the Spartans to use, or forcing the Wolverines to use a lot of the shot clock, get a couple late looks, and Michigan trying to attack the offensive glass with Kamwa, but he was the one to touch it out of bounds. So up to Michigan to fight on the defensive end. The game's gonna be won defensively if you're Michigan. You have to stop the Spartan offense, give yourself a chance offensively, because as the shooting starts to lessen a little bit in the start of this second half.
Certainly is. It's been an interesting transition to Michigan life, Big Ten life for Namari Burnett. Obviously made a great impression on the fans early in the season with 21 points in the first half against St. John's at Madison Square Garden that helped propel the Wolverines to a 4-0 start, but since then, 3 wins in their last 16 games for the Wolverines. It's been a struggle on the court, off the court. Obviously, Juwan Howard has come back from heart surgery. There's been a reported altercation with the strength coach, Doug McDaniel, not present tonight due to somewhat of academic probation, you might call it. And while Llewellyn's filled in well for him, they certainly miss McDaniel here tonight. And you can see it in the pace that the Wolverines play with on the floor. And you just wonder if they have enough, as you said, enough buckets kind of on this squad to get back in this game and keep this crowd out of it.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's hard to adjust because Michigan's only played a couple games without McDaniel. The way the suspension works with him playing at home, you're not able to get much continuity, especially with Llewellyn playing with the starting 5. He had not had a ton of minutes when Doug McDaniel's been in the lineup for Michigan. But Llewellyn's played well when he's seen consistent action. He's got 21 minutes so far in this game, and we're expecting him to see the floor for mostly the remainder of this game. But that continuity is tough to get. Reports are that near spring break, they're going to check in on McDaniel and see. But if you're Michigan, you have to focus on what you have. Use this crowd noise. You can't think straight. So forget about the past. Focus on this game and just try to give Michigan State a tough quad 3 loss. Killer loss for the Spartans if they do, in fact, falter here for Michigan, a quad 1 win. Obviously, Michigan needs a lot to go right if they want to do anything in March. But there's no better place to start than at your arch rival.
The under 16 timeout is gone, and we're underway with Hogard and Michigan in a 2-3 zone. Michigan State enters it into Hall at the elbow. Now works towards the baseline, bodying up Kamwa, gets inside, right hand hook is good. Powerful move from Malik Hall. And the Spartans open up a 7-point advantage. It's a 9-0 run for Michigan State. Michigan still searching for a bucket the last 4 minutes. Entry pass into Kamwa at the elbow. Hall on him. Drives baseline, turns middle, fadeaway jumper is off. Hogard looks to push the other way for the Spartans. Akins wide open, left wing 3. Again, Jaden Akins is filling it up from downtown, and the Spartans have their biggest lead of the night. Breslin center on their feet. Michigan knocked off theirs. Llewellyn, another entry pass into Kamwa at the elbow. Faces up Hall. And it'll come to Terrence Williams II, who steps, fires a 3, bottoms. Big shot from Terrence Williams II to quiet the crowd.
That's a big shot from Williams II. End that run.
Hogard across the timeline. Spartans slowly into their offense. Gets a screen from Cooper. Now works Walker off her screen. Corner 3, that one's well short. Tapped around by Cooper. Saved on the baseline. Walker tries again from the corner. This one's long. Terrace Reed Jr. collects and pushes with Burnett, left wing. Entry pass into Kamwa. Again, baseline. That matchup with Hall. Here comes the double. Llewellyn fires another 3. Short. First miss from 3-point range for Llewellyn. Controlled by Hall. Lead pass up ahead is beautiful from Hogard, and Cooper lays it in, plus the foul.
What a pass from A.J. Hogard, threading the needle to Cooper, who is running the rim. A little wide receiver on a kind of like on a straight street route, and Cooper caught it with pace and laid it up and drew the contact, and that's a big one for the Spartans.
Carson Cooper at the line, 64% on the season. Front rim, back rim, and down. Michigan State 52, Michigan 42, 14:07 to go here in the second half. It's been a big Spartan run here to open play after halftime. Michigan struggled to adjust. Kamwa at the right wing, drives, now kicks Jackson in the corner, and he's fouled by Malik Hall as he drove middle. Got to about the elbow, and then Hall's force stopped him there. Refs blow the whistle, and Will Cheddar will check in for the Wolverines, replacing Reed Jr. Jackson Kohler also in, replacing Malik Hall for the Spartans. Trey Jackson entered as well for the Wolverines. Decent first half for Jackson, who's coming off of a decent performance against Iowa at home, wearing the mask, protect his nose. Llewellyn triggers, gets to Jackson on the baseline. Now Williams II. The elbow extended with Akins on him. A lot of body there. Williams inside, pump fake foul, throws it up off glass. Doesn't quite go, but 2 free throws coming up for Terrence Williams II. So he looks to cut this lead to single digits.
Yeah, didn't get the good roll there, but good aggressiveness from Terrence Williams II. You need your leaders to be aggressive to try and stop this run. And now Williams needs to hit some free throws. They're shooting just under 80% from the line, and these are some 2 big ones for the Wolverines. Just slowly claw your way back in it.
First one's up, high arcing and pure. Terrence Williams II, career year so far for him, and what will be his last as a Michigan Wolverine. Nearly 13 points per game, has been a nice piece in that starting rotation. He's got one more free throw here, cut the lead to 8, and it's short and right. Rebound pulled down by Akins. Trey Holloman entered the game for Michigan State. He's got the ball now at the top of the key. Guarded by Jackson, works off a screen from Walker to the left, and now Kohler comes with the screen as well. Holloman picks up his dribble, wide open in the middle is Kohler. Kamwa came to help. There is a dish down to Cooper, who was off his hands, and it's a Michigan State turnover.
And Michigan, for a second, left 2 bigs open, but they ought to recover enough to force a turnover. Can they capitalize here?
Holloman always bringing the intensity on the defensive end, picks up Llewellyn full court, who gets across the timeline easily. Now the ball's with Williams on the low block. Works into the middle on Akins, goes up strong, doesn't get the call, gets his own miss and puts it back in, and Terrence Williams the second, providing an offensive spark for the Wolverines. Michigan State quickly the other way. Cooper on top, enters to Kohler down low. Working on Will Cheddar, backs down, little spin, right hand, no good. They've got a foul on Will Cheddar. I believe it's on the floor. Big body's bumping down low.
Yeah, I think they called it as he's looking to spin there. And so Michigan State will inbound underneath.
12:56 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Michigan State, ball goes into Cooper at the top. Now to Walker, Llewellyn on him. It's a screen to the right that Walker uses. Gets downhill with the right hand, high off the window. Beautiful from Tyson Walker. Michigan State regains a 9-point edge. It's been a battle between Llewellyn and the guards for Michigan State. Llewellyn looking to answer here, left wing. Again, entry pass into Williams on that left block. He's got Akins on him, works middle, now comes back baseline, high off the window. It's long, but in and out of the hands of Kohler, and Michigan gets an extra possession. Terrace Reed Jr. returns to the game for Kamwa. Malik Hall is in as Akins and Cooper will sit. It's Hogard, Walker, Holloman, Hall, and Kohler. Excuse me, that's Cooper who will sit. Kohler's out there for Michigan State. Llewellyn triggers. It's Jackson on the baseline, gets by his man, goes up strong, and gets a foul. It's on Trey Holloman, and Trey Jackson will get back to the free throw line.
It's a good take by Trey Jackson. And Michigan slowing the game down, getting to the line a couple times here in the second half. They've only shot 8 free throws, though. Both teams have not shot many free throws. The Spartans have been last in free throw attempts in Big Ten play. So Michigan has to take advantage as they miss the first one. You have to take advantage of the opportunities you get from the line. We've seen Terrence Williams really attacking Jaden Akins the last couple possessions.
As Jackson knocks down the second. Michigan only 5 of 10 from the line tonight. 12:20 to go here in the second half. Michigan State 54, Michigan 46. Hogard across the timeline for the Spartans. At the top of the key, now Walker left wing. Entry pass to the extended block. It's Malik Hall backing into Will Cheddar. That's been a battle all night down in that low block. Hall, little turnaround fadeaway is long, but the follow. A.J. Hogard on the follow. Extends the Michigan State lead to 10, 56-46. Just under 12 to go here in the second half. Holloman making Llewellyn work at the top. Gets a screen from Cheddar. Now finds Cheddar at the top of the key. Cheddar, an improved three-point shooter this year. Hands it off to Jackson on the left wing, who drives baseline with the length. And wild layup attempt. There's no foul call, and the ball went out of bounds. Seems like Jackson hit his head on the floor. We'll take a minute here to let him get up slowly, but that's the under 12 timeout here in East Lansing. Michigan State 56, Michigan 46. Big second half so far for the Spartans. It'll be Michigan ball when we get back with 9 on the timer. Baseline out of bounds, but Peter, it's again the similar story for the Wolverines with a lack of energy, a lack of production in the second half, and we've seen Michigan State out-hustle Michigan here early.
Yeah, we just saw on that last force a miss out of him. And then no box out, left Kohler wide open. All right, Hogard, they left Hogard wide open for an easy putback layup. That stuff you cannot allow. You have to match up, find your man defensively on the box out. Cannot give the Spartans second chance opportunities, especially when you force a great player like Malik Hall to miss on a tough shot. Cannot give second opportunities, and that's cost Michigan a couple times in this half. And you mentioned the transition. We saw that a couple times these past few minutes. We're giving up a couple open looks for the Spartans. It's just the same story that we've seen throughout the season for Michigan. Can they rewrite the script? We saw it against Ohio State. Michigan has 1 win in this month of January. It was against the Buckeyes. They gave up a big run after leading for most of the first half. They gave a large 16-2, something like that, run to the Buckeyes, but they were able to rebound and come back and get a win. Can Michigan follow that recipe and come through down by 10 here with plenty of time still in this game to do so? But can they just work possession at a time? You have to treat it one possession at a time, get good looks. And like you mentioned, the effort has to step up for Michigan because that's how you're going to win this game.
It's an interesting statistical profile for both of these teams. If you look at the shooting numbers, not necessarily the highest scoring game in college basketball, but both teams shooting above 50% from the floor and 50% from three, and actually both teams shooting 50% from the line as well, so a lot of 50s on those shooting statistics here. And as we get into the latter stages of this basketball game, Michigan State 3 timeouts left, Michigan 2 timeouts left. Obviously, Juwan Howard has come under some fire this season, and a lot has received some criticism as well earlier in his tenure here for some execution after timeouts. I'm curious what you think they turn to here. 9 on the clock, baseline out of bounds for the Wolverines.
Well, we got 9 seconds on the shot clock. I think I'm trying to see who's in. If we'll see if they check anyone in. We got Trey Jackson, Llewellyn. I say feed Llewellyn. Try to use a Reed screen. Got to get Reed inside. He's only 2 for 3 on the field. He hasn't shot the ball much, but he had one of his best games of his career against the Spartans last year in East Lansing, in Michigan. So try and get Terrace Reed to get a good positioning inside to potentially get a nice easy layup. We'll see what the Wolverines drop as Burnett is going to take it in.
It looks like Llewellyn will get a breather here. Michigan State 56, Michigan 46, 11:34 the timer. Burnett triggers, 6 on the clock, works middle, kicks out. Jace Howard, wing 3, misses everything there. Jace Howard making his return after a lower leg injury earlier this season has provided a good energy for the Wolverines off the bench, but not his best there. And not what Michigan was looking for out of the timeout. Michigan State will weave it around the top. It settles with Hogard at the top of the key. Now fires back. Tolman goes baseline with the left hand. Beat Trey Jackson to the cup and an easy deuce for Trey Holloman as the Spartans extend their lead to 12. Burnett right wing, now Reed Jr. top of the key. It's a handoff to Trey Jackson working to the middle of the floor to his right, who will reset with Cheddar. Interesting lineup for the Wolverines, lots of power forwards. Entry pass into Terrace Reed Jr., who turns and muscles up a shot over Sissoko, draws a foul with 9 on the timer. It's 2 free throws for Terrace Reed Jr., and there's the involvement you were talking about just a moment ago, Peter.
Yeah, now we need him to hit his free throws. He's improved on that aspect compared to last season, only shooting 58% though.
Was down in the low 20s at points last season, so certainly marked improvement from Terrace Reed Jr. And so, of course, the first one misses. Commentator curse applies to everyone, I suppose. And for the 4th time tonight, the crowd will get on their feet looking for some free chicken nuggets. Michigan so far 3 for 3 in denying these Spartan faithful the nuggets, but Reed Jr. misses the second, and the ball is over the backboard. Nuggets for the Spartans to go along with this 12-point lead.
I wonder if we get chicken nuggets too for being media, but either way, Michigan's got to find something. We see them going into a press for the first time today. They've got to find something. Change the looks for the Spartans.
Holloman enters to Hall, and then Michigan State breaks the quest quickly. Walker goes baseline. Beautiful reverse plus the foul. Tyson Walker, the up and under plus the English. Spanning the Spartans lead to 14. It's 60-46. And my goodness, the Wolverines are collapsing before our very eyes. It's an 8-0 Spartan run over the last 114, and Tyson Walker has a free throw to make that run 9 unanswered. Michigan State's made their last 3 shots, and Walker at the line, 74% on the season. Now just a little bit higher as he knocks that one in. The Wolverines need an answer. Michigan State 61, Michigan 46, 10:40 left to go here in the second half from East Lansing. Trey Jackson collects a handoff at the top. Pump fake, jab step, drives, long left hand, gets inside, and he's fouled by Cooper, who thought he got all ball. Referees disagree, and Trey Jackson will head back to the free throw line for the third time tonight.
I like Trey Jackson's aggressiveness. You mentioned it. His last game against Iowa was his first game back after getting injured at the Palestra against Penn State. You got to find something if you're Michigan. Just as the crowd gets to look at the score at the replay, and made a little contact with the body to warrant the foul.
Jackson knocks down the first 7 points tonight for Trey Jackson, who's quietly put together some decent minutes for the Wolverines as of late, but none of that mattering as Michigan has been trailing on the scoreboard for a majority of the second half. Jackson's second free throw is good. Michigan 7 of 14 from the line tonight, also 7 of 14 from 3 as Llewellyn enters the game. He's in there along with Kamwa Williams, the second, Reed Jr., and Burnett for the Wolverines. It's Hogard in for the Spartans along with Akins, Walker, Hall, and Cooper. Hogard looking for that entry pass to Hall on the block extended. Again, matched up with Kamwa. They've been battling all night. Entry pass into Cooper with a thunderous two-handed flush. Michigan tried to help, left the big man all alone down low.
Yeah, Hall with a great feed from the post to a wide open Cooper. He's able to flush it down with two hands and extend the Spartan lead.
Burnett working off a screen at the top of the key. Akins playing some hounding defense. Now switches onto Llewellyn. He gets a screen from Reed Jr. Works to his left. Llewellyn drives, step back. This excellent defense here from the Spartans. Williams a second drive, crossover, and stripped by Jaden Akins. And he'll slow it down as we go under 10 minutes left here in this second half. Michigan State will reset with Tyson Walker at the top of the key. 12 points for Walker. Hogard, 9 points for him on 7 shots. Gets a screen from Cooper that he rejects. Now works left to the left wing. Walker pump fake top of the key. Now step back three. Right rim. Rebound grabbed by Burnett, who pushes the other way. Kamwa now on that left wing. Finds Burnett, right wing three. Off the front of the rim. Controlled by Cooper. Michigan State looks to push the other way. As we approach 9 minutes now here in the second half. It's a screen from Cooper to get Walker to the top of the key. Akins fires a left corner three. That one's short. Kamwa controls the glass for the Wolverines. Well, and now right wing off a double screen to the top. Doesn't get anywhere with it. Hounding defense from Walker. Kamwa tried an entry pass, and Cooper was all over it. Stolen by the Spartans, who will come the other way. Tom Izzo sets up a play for his guys. 63-48, 8:30 left here in the second half. Michigan State absolutely dominating here as the Breslin center rocking as Walker enters down low on that left block to Malik Hall. Goes middle, pump fake, jab step. Now comes back out to Akins, who goes one-on-one with Terrence Williams II. Drives, steps, fall away, jumper is short. Excellent defense from Williams II, and Kamwa collects another rebound. Burnett in and out move is fouled, and finally a bit of a stoppage in play here with 8:06 left to go. 24 on the shot clock for the Wolverines, who stuck at 48 points right now. Only made one of their last 7 field goals. Have not scored in the last 2:27. As Hogard takes a seat, Hall takes a seat as well, and Burnett goes to the line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, it's time for Michigan to find something. This half has gotten out of hand, as we've seen many second halves for the Wolverines as of late during this losing spell in this month of January with the one win.
Burnett knocks down the first free throw. 75% on the season for Burnett. It's interesting, the shooting numbers for Michigan have declined. Michigan State 28th in the country in field goal percentage defense, and one of the things I was looking for entering this game was Michigan's ability to shoot the three-point ball against the Spartans defense that only allows opponents to shoot 31% from deep, second in the Big Ten. Wolverines have done it well, but not enough elsewhere, as Burnett knocks down the second, cuts the lead to 13. Michigan State 63, Michigan 50 as we approach the under 8 timeout here from the Breslin Center. It's been all Spartans here in the second half. Trey Holloman at the top of the key is left alone. Michigan in the 2-3 zone. Booker tries a wing three, no. And it's controlled by Terrence Williams. Off a screen, drives in, Euro step, left-handed floater, up and over Kamwa is good. Beautiful move from Trey Holloman. And the Spartans regain that 15-point edge with 7 minutes to go here in the second half. Michigan has not made a bucket in the last 6 minutes of game action. Llewellyn tries to change that with a left wing three, and he does. Jalen Llewellyn, 4 of 5 from downtown tonight. He's been a bright spot for the Wolverines, and he's had success in these road games without Doug McDaniel. Now guards Holloman at the top of the key, who enters the pass into Cooper. They go to Walker, who drives baseline, spins around. Kamwa finds Akins in the corner. This man doesn't miss. Jaden Akins from downtown. 6 of 8 from behind the line tonight, and Michigan State answers with a 3 of their own. 6:19 to go here. Michigan State up 15, 68-53. It's Kamwa, a little jab step at the top of the key. Enters to Reed, beautiful move. Down low, ball rims out, and it's tapped around, controlled by Reed, pump fake, and he's fouled. That foul will go on Xavier Booker. Good hustle from Terrence Reed Jr. to recollect and get himself another chance, but Michigan's had no answers in the second half, and Jaden Akins, 20 points on the night, 7-11 from the field, 6 of 8 from 3, has provided the offensive spark the Spartans and this crowd has been looking for.
Yeah, he definitely has. And Tyson Walker with a really good penetration side of the key, kind of like lost his footing a little bit, but was still able to find Akins open in the corner. You mentioned it, 6 for 8 from 3. He's been killer from that corner for the Spartans and has been pivotal in giving them the 15-point lead that they nurse here with 6 minutes to go in half number 2. But we've seen Spartans defense really stepped up in this second half. Tom Izzo looking for win number 700 in his illustrious Hall of Fame career, and his mantra throughout his career has been on the defensive end of the ball and pushing in transition. And this Spartan team tonight has really shown that, especially in this second half. They've made life tough for these Wolverines. Michigan's not had really any good looks in this second half, and they have not been able to hit the tough shot. And that's been the difference in this game, as free pizzas being given out to this already happy Spartan crowd here.
Happy times here in East Lansing. Michigan 10 turnovers on the night, Michigan State only 5. Michigan's winning the rebounding battle right now, but the Spartans shooting 57% from the floor. Wolverines now down to 46% from the floor. Still shooting 50% from 3, but they're going to need a lot of those down the stretch to get back into this game. Talk about Llewellyn, bright spot for the Wolverines, 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting in 29 minutes. Had 16 points on the road at Purdue, first game without Doug McDaniel, and has provided a spark, but it makes you wonder why he only played a few minutes in Michigan's last game against Iowa, which was a loss at home. Seems like he's certainly earned the right to play some more minutes for these Wolverines, regardless of whether or not McDaniel's playing.
Yeah, he definitely has been, and I think that goes on to the coaching staff to try and work McDaniel and Llewellyn together, because you definitely don't want to have to sub one in for the other. And we've seen the coaching staff favor McDaniel, but if they can trying to fit them both, and if they can work off of each other, as a crowd they're getting into it, enjoying themselves for sure. Okay, you mentioned it. Yeah, Llewellyn, he's been a lone bright spot for the Wolverines, and for the Spartans, they've had a lot to be happy about today. One thing I know, like Michigan's defense, those first few minutes, they forced 4 Spartan turnovers, and they just have 1 since. Top 11th ranked in assist-to-turnover ratio. They've averaged a 5 assists per turnover. That ratio has come to life here. The Spartans have 17 assists in this game, and they've really moved the ball really well, finding the open guys both outside. Jaden Akins multiple times for 3 in the corner, a couple easy dunks in the paint off of Malik Hall dishes from the post, and it's just been tough for the Wolverines to find an answer. And if they're going to find an answer, it starts with coming off of this timeout, see if they can get a little run here just to build something.
Walker, Akins, Holloman, Hall, and Suzuko on the floor for Michigan State, holding a 15-point edge here in this in-state rivalry. 68-53, 6:05 left on the clock. Terrace Reed Jr. at the line for the Wolverines. 2 free throws upcoming for him. 5 points on the night, 0 of 2 from the line. Gave the fans some free chicken nuggets last time. Williams II, Llewellyn, Jace Howard, and Olivier Como on the floor as well for the Wolverines. There's a couple dribbles for Reed Jr. Free throws up and off to the right. And the free throw struggles continue for the Wolverines. 9 of 17. And the fans here want more chicken nuggets. Reed Jr. sets fires and back iron. He'll give him more chicken nuggets. Under 6 to go here, second half. 21 on the shot clock for Michigan State. Holloman finds Akins on the right wing and dribbles out. Switches the court to Holloman, looking for a screen from Tyson Walker. He gets it. Michigan in a 2-3 zone. Leaves Akins open on the wing 3. It's short. Crowd rose in anticipation. That one barely grazed the rim and then out of bounds off of Suzuko's hands, and Michigan will gain possession.
Yeah, they've unlocked a free 6-piece chicken McNugget. I don't know if that's something after for the second set of missed free throws, but this crowd's had plenty to cheer about. That's for sure.
As Hogard enters the game, 9 points for Hogard, 6 more for 1,000 for him, something to monitor in the final 5:30. Kamwa's at the top looking for an option. Has Llewellyn left wing, who lobs it down to Kamwa, who came off a down screen. Pass was a little late and a little high, and it knocked out of bounds by Jaden Akins, who came flying over like a free safety to make the play. Llewellyn will trigger from the baseline, 5:27. Michigan State left to go in the second half. Michigan State 68, Michigan 53. Llewellyn's pass is tipped by Jaden Akins on the inbounds. Walker pushing. There's Højgaard up against Williams the second. Tough left-handed layup goes high off glass. And the Spartans have their biggest lead of the night, 70-53. Llewellyn drives and is fouled. The crowd thought it was another fast break opportunity for Højgaard, who 996 in his illustrious Michigan State career. And it's just beginning to look a little bit sloppy here from the Wolverines late.
Yeah, they let this game get away from them for sure, and it starts with that early run in the second half, and as Llewellyn will shoot 2 now as the Wolverines are in the double bonus.
Well, and only 50% from the line this season. Only very few free throws attempted. Knocks down the first. 16 points for Jalen Llewellyn. Still coming back from that torn ACL suffered against Kentucky in London last year. It was a brutal injury for the Wolverines in their season, and of course him. He knocks down the second, and the Wolverines fall back into that 2-3 zone as Højgaard crosses the timeline for the Spartans. Has a double screen waiting for him up top. Rejects it both. Now Malik Hall gathers on the left wing. Finds Højgaard, elbow extended. Akins in the corner, quickly back to Højgaard left wing. 11 on the timer as he fires one into the corner for Hall. Jabs that baseline, left hand drives middle. Knocks off Jalen Llewellyn. Turns and flips a little right-handed hook in there. Malik Hall having a nice night, 12 points. Gives the Spartans a 17-point lead. Llewellyn comes off a screen. Kamwa tees up a straightaway 3 off the left rim and controlled by Suzuko. Michigan flat here as Højgaard pushes the other way and comes back out onto the left wing. They're looking for that entry pass into Hall, doesn't get it. Finds Suzuko at the top of the key. Crowd wanted the big fella to shoot it. Michigan State will take their time setting up the offense here. Højgaard drives left hand, goes up for a monster jam, but he missed it. Terrace Reed Jr. challenged it as Jace Howard pushes the other way. Llewellyn tries another 3. That one's short. Howard controls inside Terrence Williams. A second up and under for an easy deuce as we go under 4 minutes to go here in the second half from East Lansing. Michigan State 72, Michigan 57. It was a monstrous poster attempt from Højgaard that missed. Don't think Reed Jr. impacted it all that much, to be honest, but A little out of control as Walker controls on the left wing. Now Hogard top of the key. It's Akins wide open, corner three. How is he left wide open? He makes them pay again, and time out. Michigan, Jaden Akins absolutely stroking it from downtown. His 7th three of the night, 3 of his 23 points. Give the Spartans an 18-point edge, 75-57 with 3:29 left to go here. And the Wolverines are on the brink of dropping 9 of 10 for the first time since 2007 to 2008, when legendary coach John Beilein took over the program for the first time. And on the other end, the Spartans well on their way to 4 straight Big Ten home wins, 9 of their last 12. And for a team that started out a little slow, Peter, they certainly look to be playing some excellent basketball as we slowly turn the days and the pages on the calendar to March.
Yeah, that's a typical Michigan State team. They'll sometimes start a little slow in the season. They have such a tough schedule that Tom Izzo puts this team in front of, and that prepares them for times like this where they're gonna start blossoming at the right time. If they can get Jaden Akins to shoot 7 for 10 from the field or from 3 on a nightly basis, they're gonna be hard to beat. And for the Wolverines, they're leaving too many men open. Akins has been open in the corner all game long. It reminds me of you going off for 27 in our Michigan Daily WCBN,
I hope
where the Daily just wouldn't cover you and you kept shooting threes, and that's what this is reminding me of. Michigan just had not been able to adjust to the hot hand and find him. I know they were playing the zone there, and the corner can be a tough spot to cover in the zone when you have a big kind of fading out a little bit, but
on rotation, yeah.
It's
tough
still
to relocate.
obviously you're just trying to give the Spartans different looks going into the zone here late in this game, but when you get torched for 23 from Akins, and it's just there's not much else you can do. It's been tough for the Wolverines, and they let this one slip away early in this half, and the crowd fed off of that early run, that early 11-1 run. It seems like every game we're talking about an 11-1 run, a 16-2 run, a 17-3 run. It's become normal for this Michigan team. It seems expected. And the Spartans are going to get their first win of the year when trailing at halftime.
Izzo's going to get 700.
It's
against their rivals, and Michigan.
Yeah.
Struggles in the second half, only 22 points in the second half. They've only made 2 of their last 10 field goals, and when you're 11 of 20 from the line, that certainly doesn't help you win games on the road, especially in a place like this. Last time Michigan won here, 2018, took down the then number 4 Michigan State Spartans, but will not be happening tonight. The Wolverines are in trouble, dropping 9 out of 10, as I mentioned, for the first time since 2007-2008, when then head coach John Beilein was in his first season as head basketball coach of the program, and we know what he did. A couple national championship game appearances under his tutelage. 3:20 left to go here in the second half. Michigan down 18, and it's another Michigan turnover right into the hands of Hogard, who looks to push. Right-handed layup is too strong. Chased down by Kohler in the corner, who finds Tyson Walker in the corner. His 3 is no good, but Kohler there, the extra effort on the follow, and the heart has been ripped out of the Wolverines with under 3 to go here. Michigan State 77, Michigan 57. It's been all Spartans here in the second half. It's a 45-22 edge as Michigan enters to Kamwa, who spins middle, pump fake, working on Kohler, gets to that right hand, and beautiful touch off the glass as Kamwa has 9.
Yeah, Michigan has to just end this game with some fight. They've really just let the Spartans do whatever they wanted.
Michigan in that zone. Hogard enters into Hall, who's then fouled by Terrence Williams II. That's his first of the evening, as Michigan State will bring in some of their bigs. Cohen Carr, Xavier Booker, replace Malik Hall and Tyson Walker. Somewhat quiet night for Walker, only 12 points on 5 of 14 from the floor, but averaging 19 on the season, 18 in Big Ten play. He's gotten plenty of help from Jaden Akins, 23 points, leading all scorers tonight. So Hogard will trigger the baseline out of bounds into Kohler and come to collect at the top of the key. It's on the logo, gets a screen to his right, steps back on Kamwa at the wing. To Carr and back to Hogard, who resumes his dribble. Burnett's on him. Hogard works left around Burnett, now drives straight into him. Tough left-handed layup is no good. A dunk attempt on the follow by the athletic Carr is also no good as Llewellyn pushes up the left side of the floor for the Wolverines. Kicks to the corner and gets it back on the wing. Drives, is fouled. And Izzo wanted that call on the other baseline, and he won't get it. It'll be 2 free throws for Jalen Llewellyn as Michigan is in the double bonus now as a little sister chant breaks out from the Spartans. I do have to remind you, your football team scored 0 points in this very game, a mere 3 months ago, Peter.
Yeah.
They can have their basketball. Michigan, I'm sure, will gladly take their national championship. Not to sound salty, of course, to those of you who are new to WCBN Sports. Student radio for Michigan Athletics. Daniel Olson here, Peter Nasr. It's been a fun second half if you're a Spartans fan. As Michigan fans, we try to stay as unbiased as possible, but with 2 minutes to go here and the Spartans fans having some deserved fun, I just thought I'd clap back a little bit as Llewellyn misses the first free throw. Llewellyn's second free throw is good. Front rim, back rim, and down. 2 minutes left here. Michigan State 77, Michigan 60. Just under 2 minutes to go here in what's been an absolute beatdown of a second half. Michigan State trying to break the press. Pass is whipped in to Kohler, who can't handle it. It's out of bounds. And Michigan basketball. As Tom Izzo will take a timeout, collect the troops, and do some coaching, as he always does, always coaching hard. Player 1 through 15 on the roster. You can see angry with something. Xavier Booker essentially not in the right position there, but
yeah, you gotta you respect he's gonna coach you for 40 minutes no matter what the score is, Izzo, and props to him getting win 700. One of the best coaches in college basketball history, and always making this team compete. They're always gonna be a tough win no matter what, especially in this building, and they came to play, especially in that second half. And for Michigan, can you just end with get something to hold your head up high before you take on Rutgers at home on Saturday? Then you got Wisconsin, who's top 10 team, who took care of business against the Spartans earlier last weekend.
Michigan State bouncing back nicely against that loss in Madison. Number 6, Wisconsin, playing some excellent basketball up there. Is back underway here. Terrence Williams II gets inside, spins at the elbow, and is fouled. Jackson Kohler, fans not happy with the officiating in this second half, but certainly looks like Kohler got all of Williams II there on that drive. Izzo can't believe it. A little surrender cobra from the longtime Spartan head coach. Quietly, another solid game for Terrence Williams II as he knocks down the first free throw. 13 points, 5 of 9 from the floor. Provided a little bit of an offensive spark when this lead got to about 10 in the second half. He got it back to down to around 6 all by himself. And coming off the back of a 16-point performance at home against Iowa, his second high arcing free throw is good. Michigan will enter the press here with just 100 ticks left on the clock. Down 15, 77-62. Michigan State breaks the press easily. Hogard left wing, they'll reset with Holloman at the top. Michigan in a 2-3 zone. Again, entry pass into Hogard. Now drops out into man-to-man. Hogard drives into Kamwa, and the floater's good as well. A.J. Hogard up to 13 points, and he's got a free throw to get to 999. for his career, 999 points.
Yeah, you know he wants to get that 1,000 here against Michigan, and probably the reason he's still in the game with the way it is. He misses the free throw, however.
And he'll need one more bucket to get it. He misses the free throw to the left. 70 seconds left here in this in-state battle between the Wolverines and the Spartans. It's been all Spartans second half. Burnett tries a top of the key three that's short. Rebound comes all the way out to Trey Jackson at the left wing. He'll go ISO, step back, corner three, short, controlled by Kohler. And ball's in the hand of Hogard, who looks to push, who goes all the way, left hand. Layup is absolutely swatted by Olivier Kamwa. Michigan's got 4-on-1 the other way, and they turn it over. Holloman with the 2-on-1 to Hogard, who goes up. Right-handed layup is good, and there it is. And you can tell he knows it. Point number 1,000 in the career of A.J. Hogard. Just the 7th Michigan State player with 1,000 points and 500 assists in his Spartans career. It's Spartans 81, Michigan 62, 20 ticks left on the clock. Crowds on their feet, celebrating a Spartan who will go down in the history books as Terrence Williams II misses an elbow jumper. Ball's tapped out. Trey Jackson drives and gets it swatted by Carr, who recovers. And there's another foul on the floor as the crowd's getting antsy, trying to beat the rush out to the car. That was a fun moment there.
Yeah, now it looks like
we'll get a standing ovation here as Davis Smith, senior guard from Atlanta, is set to check in for Hogard as Trey Jackson misses the first free throw. It's been a struggle at the line for the Wolverines. 14 of 24, but A.J. Hogard, soak it in, my man. 1,000 points, 500 assists to do it against your rival. The same night, the legendary coach picks up win number 700 and more free chicken nuggets for the Spartans fans tonight. It's been that kind of second half for the Wolverines. Michigan State 81, Michigan 62 as the final buzzer sounds here in East Lansing. Michigan had a 2-point edge going into the half. We're shooting the ball nicely and then put up a whopping 27 points in that second half to Michigan State's 48. And Peter, kind of walk me through where it all went wrong for Michigan here.
They lost focus and they gave up a big run to start the half, and you could have copy and pasted what I just said to, it seems like every game this month for the Wolverines. To only get one win in the month of January is a disappointment. When your football team wins more than your basketball team in a calendar month, is quite disappointing. Everything went wrong this second half. I really liked the way that the Wolverines competed in the first half, and they shot the lights out as well. But for Michigan, we knew that the shooting would not be sustained. So the fact was whether or not they could keep the effort and be able to compete once they start missing shots. Can they compete defensively with Michigan State? And that didn't happen. Michigan gave way too many open looks, both from the perimeter and inside, and the Spartans capitalized, and it looks like all the students congratulating Tom Izzo with career win number 700.
Certainly a nice moment here for Izzo. Been here at Michigan State now for a long time, and his 29th season as head coach. Cruised at 33 and 21 against the Wolverines, and it was a struggle in that second half for Michigan. You mentioned the shooting percentages. 6 of 24 from the floor in the second half. 3 of 11 from 3, that's 27% for the Wolverines. Michigan State 21 of 35 from the floor in that second half. Only 4 of 11 from 3, but controlled the glass, 16 boards. And Michigan had 7 turnovers in that second half, a big difference, and allowed the Spartans to get out and run and build that lead as Michigan couldn't buy a bucket on the other end.
Yeah, and once you give the Spartans the ability to move in transition, and for the Wolverines to not be able to match up in transition quickly and find the open players, Jaden Akins took advantage of that on multiple occasions, as well as many other Spartans, and that was the difference. Those first few minutes of the second half killed the Wolverines, as it has throughout this season. This is a tough loss for Michigan. How they respond going forward? How do they compete? Continue to compete the rest of the season and find something to fight for in a season that's turning into. I don't want to say it this early. It's still the end of January, but turning into a potentially lost season for Michigan. With still a lot of basketball to be played, it's been tough for Michigan, and can they find answers for what has been a tough spell that has stretched all year? It's the story of the season for Michigan, and it played out.
Yeah.
And it played out once again. And how do they adjust? The second half, you have to make some kind of changes. What's going on in the locker room at halftime? Something has to change, because it's becoming consistent, and that becomes a problem.
Yeah, Michigan has had a lead early in second halves, a lead at halftime, and 6 or 7 games here, and they've only won one of those games at home against Ohio State. Jaden Akins led the way for the Spartans with 23 points. It was the guard trio for the Spartans that did provide most of that scoring punch. Hogard, as mentioned, got to 1,000 with a 15-point game, 7 of 14 from the floor. Tyson Walker chipped in 12. Malik Hall chipped in 12. Trey Holloman brought energy. Perfect 3 of 3 from the floor and 7 points for Michigan. Jalen Llewellyn, 18, led the way for the Wolverines. Terrence Williams, II, continued his nice season with 14. Kamwat chipped in 9. Burnett again struggled from the floor, but added 8. Michigan State 81, Michigan 62. The Wolverines return to Ann Arbor to take on Rutgers this weekend, and then followed by Wisconsin next Tuesday, and what'll be a massive game at the Chrysler Center between the struggling Wolverines and the rising and playing excellent basketball Wisconsin Badgers, as Tom Izzo takes center court. Talk to the crowd here. Peter, any final thoughts on what to look ahead for the Wolverines? Obviously, WCBN Sports, we will be covering these next few home games. Rutgers, Wisconsin. Make sure to tune in to those. Make sure to go to Chrysler Arena to support Michigan, but they dropped to 7-14, 2-8 in the Big Ten, bottom of the barrel. Michigan State improves to 13-8, 5-5 in the Big Ten, and winners of 9 of their last 12, certainly on a good trend. But any final thoughts on this game? Michigan State, it's been an honor to call it with you here in the second half.
Great call. It was a fun game for, I think, 35 minutes until Michigan or 25 minutes. But the Spartans, props to them for competing. They stuck with it after the Wolverines competed with them the first half. And if you're Michigan, like I said, you have to find something to salvage this season. You can't let the rest of the season go to waste because of the position you're in. Obviously, there's a lot that the Wolverines have to get fixed if they want to make even an ounce of noise come March, if they want to be playing anything meaningful later in the year. And this could have been a really good win for Michigan, kind of put everything behind them. If you can get a big win against your rival on the road and maybe springboard you forward, but for Michigan to put up the kind of effort that they did, particularly in the second half, this one's going to sting, this one's going to hurt. And I don't know what else to say, really. It's the same story all year long, and it's hard. It's been hard to watch, and we'll see what happens next. We'll see how the Wolverines go up against Rutgers. They got Wisconsin. Michigan takes on the Spartans once again in I believe 3 weeks' time at Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. It's just, you got to take it one game at a time. You got to figure out, you got to find something to go your way. But this is tough for Michigan, and how they respond to this will be critical in the way that the rest of the season gets remembered, and what has turned out to probably be a lost one for the Wolverines.
Another sour second half for the Wolverines at their hands of their in-state rivals, the Michigan State Spartans. Izzo collects win number 700. Akins knocks down a bunch of threes. Hogard gets to 1,000 points. Not much went right for the Wolverines today, but we thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan athletics. We will be back covering Michigan women's basketball, water polo, anything under the sun, anything Michigan athletics. We will be there. Make sure you tune in. on your favorite student radio network, WCBN Sports. So for Neal Sinha, James Meninga, Peter Nasr, and Daniel Olson, we thank you for tuning in. And as always, good night and go blue.